started, and we'll admit any other participants as they try to join the Zoom. So, as I said earlier, my name is Grace. I am the program coordinator at Remerge. We are a community building nonprofit based here in Atlanta, and most of our work is done specifically in the neighborhood of Sweet Auburn. Um, and I'm excited that we are able to have Miss Angela Davis Johnson lead us in a workshop where we will be making portraits and focusing on dreams. Angela, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your practice. If you want to talk about what kind of work you create today and how your practice has evolved over time, you can do that. And then also share with us the theme, how you arrived at it for today's workshop, and also what we can expect and what the first steps are.
All right, beautiful. Thank you, Grace. Well, Lindsay, I feel like I'm just, able to talk with you and get to meet a new friend.
Oh, I feel like so honored to like have this one-on-one time with you.
Yes.
Because really, I didn't know a lot about the organization, but I have someone that I follow on Instagram reposted about the event, and I really liked what the piece of artwork that you had shown to advertise the event. So I thought, well, this sounds like something really fun to do on a Saturday. So yeah, I'm happy to meet you as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I am a visual artist, but also a performer. My family, I'm from a lot of spaces because my father was in the military, my mother is an artist. And so I grew up all over the place, but I feel really connected to East Arkansas, where my grandmother last lived. And I had the opportunity of living there when I was 14, and I regrew her garden. So it was like that type of life and movement informs my work. I'm an artist who migrates, and which is really challenging in this COVID time because it's like you can't move and you have to stay still. And so I feel like I'm skipping to the end, but that's the reason why I'm accessing dreams, because it allows me to travel in ways that my physical won't allow me to. I love to tell stories through my paintings. I love gathering different materials and allowing each piece to richen the story and richen the narrative. My work is about my ancestors. It's about building connection. It's about joy. It's about love. It's about hard things. And it's mostly the human spirit. I use bright colors to share an emotion. And whenever I'm in circles of other artists or I'm teaching or learning, it's through colors that it's like the easiest way to understand another person. Colors and dreams. So today I wanted to create with you both, a dream. I had an exhibition several years ago, well, a few years ago, and it was called Blue Black, and it was focused on dreams, sharing dreams. And I think that a collective dreaming is a way of like building connections with someone, an avenue to connection with someone you just met. And I want to do that visually today. So did that answer all y'all questions? Because Grace, I'm not gonna lie, you were hitting me with a lot of them. I was like, okay.
I'm sorry. I think you did. So tell us your background, what you create, and what we'll be doing today. Can you tell us what the first step will be? And I will try to keep my questions to maybe one or two at a time, but also what collective dreaming is and how you do it.
Okay. So I think starting there, so I was taught by this wonderful organizer, artist. Her name is Karima Dillard, and she shared with me her process of collective dreaming and how you do it. Well, the part in your brain that's activated when you dream it's the same part when you tell a story. So dreaming and storytelling are one and the same, and we can do that. Um, so how you do it is with consent. I can share a dream with you. You take on my dream as though it's yours, and you offer insight to this dream as though it is your dream. So I'll give an example. I had a dream that I was swimming in purple water, dark purple water. And the sky was purple, and the thing is, y'all, I can't swim. I did not know how to swim. And I'm kind of like, it's something like a lifelong thing that I want to learn how to do, but I'm a little nervous of water. And so in this dream, I could swim really well. And the water was dark purple and the sky was light purple. And my partner was there holding my waist as we were gliding in the same direction. Well, now that I've offered you that dream, it now has become a collective dream. And what you do instead, or what you do is you say, if this were my dream, it would mean this to you. So does that make any sense? Does it kind of, do you understand the direction? So purple may mean something, water may mean something to you. And then from that space, once you offer that, now the dream grows. Same thing with you, Lindsay. Whatever insight you want to offer, the dream has now grown and it's no longer my dream, it's our dream.
Should we vocalize what we like, our interpretations, or do we just, should we just think about what we think that dream means or what it represents to us and then create from there?
If you two are comfortable with that, I would love for us to vocalize it. And then we could go on into the paper. So the next step after that, oh, look, we have somebody else. And so the step, we can use my purple dream. And then from the step of that, we will use our sheet of paper, and then we will create the part that sticks out to us the most, and we'll begin to layer different materials onto it. And we'll create our own visual of the dream that we just shared vocally. Okay. So does that feel good? And does it feel, who is this person? Dan Henry.
Hi, Dan. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Just to provide you with a quick update. So we have a very small group today, which means we can be intimate in beautiful ways. And so Angela was just walking us through collective dreaming and how we do that. And she shared that she had a dream in which she was swimming in dark purple water and the sky was light purple and her partner was holding her waist. And please correct me if I'm wrong at any point, Angela, but Angela also shared that collective dreaming, one person offers a dream and the collective part comes into play when someone who's listening to what was shared offers an interpretation of that dream, and that interpretation then becomes, is it our dream? Is that
this is now a group dream,
okay.
What I've offered. And so like, you know how sometimes people will tell you like, I had a dream about fish and that means you're pregnant. No, no, this is not that kind of like dream interpretation. It's just, you know, there's certain things that stick out to you in your life. Like water may mean you remember being a child and being in the water and you were near a lake, and that means happiness to you. That can be the interpretation. It doesn't have to be like a strong like knowing of dream iconography and things like that. So it's an internal but shared thing. It's from your perspective and there are no wrong answers.
Okay. Can I offer something that I thought about as you were sharing that dream?
Yes. And I just want to make sure, Dan, do you feel comfortable with the information and would you like to participate in this practice with us?
Yes, thank you for the invitation and thank you for being so thoughtful in asking.
That's
Definitely, I would like to participate. I was just thinking about so many different things right then and there as you were speaking, because my grandmother used to have those kind of books because she would use those to play the numbers,
yes.
where she was, in South Georgia or so. So I completely understand what you are speaking of, and I really appreciate you making it more clear for me. Thank you.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well, so you kind of mentioned in like a very light way that you can't swim. Like that didn't seem to be like the focal point of the dream. But hearing you say you can't swim, but also telling us that your partner was holding your waist made me think that like even in your inability to swim, you are protected and safe
Mm. Hmm. That's beautiful.
and
So,
supported.
so if this were your dream, what would that mean to you?
Hmm. If this were my dream, I think I would feel um, hmm, like even in the moments where I don't have the skills to do, where I don't feel I have the skill to do something, or where I don't have the knowledge, I think I would feel, or I would interpret that dream as I'm covered and I'm taken care of. Um, and there are people in my life who will provide me with the support I need if and when I need it.
Come on, Grace. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, mind. Lindsay, do you have insight on this
Sure.
collective dream?
When I was putting myself in your position in the dream, definitely anytime anyone mentions water, I automatically think of the ocean for sure.
Mhm.
And it reminds me of my grandfather, and all of my dad's family are all from Bainbridge, Georgia, and my grandfather grew up though in Port St. Joe, Florida, which is like a more rural area of Florida. And he in the 70s, like he bought a very small home in a really small beach town. And so that's kind of where we always grew up going when I was a kid in the summers. So I always think about my grandfather when I think about the water. So when you were saying that your partner was holding you, supporting you in the water, it's like I just kind of visualize that as being like my family connections and kind of how they've
Mhm.
supported me. And the ocean always makes me calm. So I had a calming feeling, when you were describing your dream.
Oh,
And then
wow.
the purple is like, for some reason, I just think of like creativity, so it's like just feeling supported by family, but also feeling supported and calm when you're doing activities that are creative. That's all.
Oh, come on. That's so beautiful. Yes, for that calming. Oh, yeah. And like, I love that you attached it to family, both you and Grace. How about you, Dan? Or is it Dan Henry? How do you prefer to be? Um,
Uh, I just Dan is fine. Whatever you're most comfortable with. I used to just say my whole name, but anyway. So yeah, the purple reminds me of. I first thought it was Kool-Aid,
mm,
and then I thought about science fiction, and I know I've seen some far off world imagined that had purple water, and then of course purple takes me to royalty and um, majesty and regalness. And all of a sudden, I just saw, I think it was, what's his name? Eminem coming down some purple hills or so in one of
what?
those videos. And I don't know exactly what that could possibly, to me, it seems so much more like joy and also being upheld in some sort of regal womb, because water always symbolizes life to me, and
Mm,
femininity and givingness and warmth and comfort, but being supported in that, which could be the internal aspect of myself. Yeah, so I like that dream quite a bit. That's
mm.
just this sticky feeling out of my mind though for some reason. Sticky Kool-Aid water. Hmm.
Sweet
I guess that's the fun.
sugary Kool-Aid water. Mm. I don't know. With that, it makes me think of like having too much of a good thing.
I thank you. Yeah. I have a yeah. Well, that's definitely spot on. Thank you.
Indeed. And so with our shared, I see you taking notes, Grace. Did you take notes on like what you say?
Um,
Stuck.
I jotted down just a little bit of everything
Mhm.
everyone said.
Do you mind repeating it? Because I didn't write it down.
Yes, just 1 second.
Okay. I love y'all interpretation of that dream. It's one dream that just won't, I can't shake. And so I love sharing it.
Is it
Now
a recurring dream that you have quite frequently?
it's not a recurring dream, but it'll pop up in the middle of the day for me. And it's like, what does this mean? It's not a troubling in a bad way, but it's a nagging. And it's like, it means something. And when those kind of dreams come to me, I think that I need to share them. It's like, yeah. So I'm so happy to be sharing it with you.
Thank you.
With you all.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Mhm.
So, what I wrote down is what I said, which is focusing on your partner holding your waist and that symbolizing support and protection. And then Lindsay shared that she thought about water and how that's calming, and also how it this your dream made her think about her family. And
Mm.
also, um, correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsay, but did you? I think you talked a little bit about like creativity, and was that, I don't remember if that was linked to the color purple or not.
Yes, it's just like for some reason I associate that color with creativity. Like that's the first word that popped into my mind when I started thinking about that color.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. And then Dan shared that water symbolizes life to
Mm.
him, but also he also said that like the purple made him think of Kool-Aid. And something that I thought was interesting that Dan shared was um, like the stickiness of Kool-Aid. And um, he also said that purple makes him think of majesty and royalty, joy, and also Eminem.
And Eminem.
Yes.
Yeah. So with all of these luscious like descriptions, what is an image that comes in? It doesn't have to be a complicated image. It could be a simple symbol of what we just shared. What comes to mind? And as you're thinking about that, I'm going to switch the video to my paper, and I'm going to kind of like think through what that looks like, what you've all shared, what I've shared, and creating a symbol on my sheet of paper. Um, and that I encourage y'all to do the same. Okay. All right. So this is my paper, y'all. And let's see. So I think what came to my mind, of course, the purple. And I think I'll make my background purple. But there's you know what? I think what I'm going to do, because this is a collage type of work. So I'm going to get one sheet of paper, and I'm not going to complicate it with my composition yet. I'm going to create something on my sheet of paper first. And what was coming to me is the purple, and especially Lindsay and your connection, and Dan with life, and same thing with you, Grace. There's like, I want to create a sheet of paper that I can cut up. So I'm just going to keep it like a simple pattern. And the pattern that's coming to me is one that I saw about ancestors, that you have 4,000 ancestors. You go back, I think, was it 17 generations? No, it's not even that many. It's less than that. And each generation, you are connected to so many people. So I'm going to make a pattern that looks like that. And I'm going to use that as my base for my work. So this is my pattern. This is myself. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then a line for my father, a line for my mother. And then a line for her father, a line for her mother, a line for his father, a line for his mother. So I'm looking at my family tree coming together, and I'm seeing it in purple. And to me, it's like that dream is about connection, it's about ancestry. And I want to use this as a pattern to influence and to deepen the overall picture that I'm creating. So this is my pattern, and this is my ancestors. I don't know what pattern you all would like to try, or this part is just making a beautiful image to apply to your overall composition. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Should
Yeah.
we be filling the whole page with
I'm
whatever
going
image or symbol?
Yep, I'm going to fill my whole page because it'll give me an opportunity to cut it up however I want to.
Okay.
Allow me to create how I want it to. Because this may turn out to, I may cut it up into being a circle. I may cut it up into the shape of a person. I may cut it up into like a ideal of clothing, or it may be my water.
Okay.
But I'm putting the energy that I want this painting and this work of art to mean to me into it. And it being rooted in family and ancestral line is important for me. I've been obsessed with this like simple way of seeing my family tree because it looks like mycelium. It looks like a tree. It looks like roots. It looks like veins.
Your lungs?
Lungs. Come on. Dan. Yes. So it's breath. And then I can't even imagine having this many people in my line that are holding me up.
I did a 23andMe, and it was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Through all those different lines, and it's actually kind of unimaginable how many different pieces of me come of each of us. I guess are kind of owed to different parts of different things, and the accumulation of those things are us. And you take away one little part, and you're not the same person.
Wow. That's so powerful. How, when did you do this? Has it been recent or was
Yes, it was actually our last in-house. I think it was our last in-house workshop
Wow.
with Grace Kisa, and we did a building of kind of like homes and things like that. And I had to come to a realization that my home is from all over the world, because it went from Europe, Ireland to Indonesia to West Africa, which is really crazy. I'd never thought of that before. It was a complete revelation.
Wow. Beautiful.
I have been reading a whole lot lately, and I finished a book maybe last Saturday. It's called Homegoing, and it's by a Ghanaian American author named Ya Gyasi.
Mm-hmm.
And The book starts like timeline wise, it starts in I want to say like the 1800s, and it follows um, two families from the same lineage. One is like Ghanaian, like royalty almost, and like works with like British people, um, and like sells enslaved Ghanaians into slavery. And then the other family, the other half of the family is like part of the ancestry that is like sold into that slavery and brought to America. And it was really interesting
Wow.
to like think about how different those two life experiences were. Um, the author does a really good job at like telling two completely different stories, and she also like writes across time. And so you start in like I want to say around like the 1800s, and you end up in like the modern day. And listening to you all talk about like ancestry just reminded me of that story, and also just like how you don't always know who your family is, and yet there's still like a very long history and connection regardless of your awareness and knowledge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're inseparable. You can't take any piece of it at all, because if you did, you wouldn't be doing. I was telling someone about my the Indonesian aspect, and even the Irish, and he's like it's only 13%. It's like, well, if I took away 13 or 2%, I still wouldn't be myself. So it's all very significant. It's all very, very important and significant in itself.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine how you'd be able to reconcile those two different sides
Mm-hmm.
of yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I did a 23andMe test too, but it was not as interesting as I was hoping it was going to be.
Really?
It was interesting.
It was pretty much as expected.
Oh.
That's okay.
My mother was dumbfounded when I told her about she couldn't quite get that. She was like, well, I don't know if you know about this whole trope about a lot of people of African descent being also related to people of American or original people of descent. And so that was kind of something for her to get hold of. So like, no, we've got some Indian and stuff going on in us. Like, no, Mom, I don't think that's the case. That'd be something else. It's just a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
Isn't it? I'm always curious about when people are able to get their lineage. They're tested. Like, how do you reconcile with your expectation? Like, I haven't done it, so I'm open to like so many avenues where my ancestry is, and I'm wondering, would I be okay being confined to certain, I don't know, almost limited, but I don't know. I think that's a false way of thinking about it, and thinking of it as a limitation. But right now, I can be from everywhere, you know.
You are from everywhere. You're made of stars.
I was made of stars, you know, and I can track that in my mind and in my spirit in a different type of way because I don't
Yeah.
have certain knowledge. Oh goodness. So I think you know what, I'm thinking I'm gonna fill it up a little bit more and then I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to, I don't know what materials you all have, but I'm gonna share. I've been working with this book of stars for like several years. And I think I may funny that you said stars, Dan, because
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I think I want
It's a
mine
star chart. Cool.
stars. I don't know if y'all can see it, if it's like too much shine on there, but it's
I
really
can see it's pretty
quite
amazing.
beautiful. And I think I want that to be my water.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Angela, when you are creating,
Mhm.
and you're in the like beginning steps of the piece that you're working on, do you
Mhm.
always have an idea of like what you hope the final piece will look like, or does it evolve over time as you are in the process of making that piece?
Oh no, I don't have a set on like, unless it's a commission piece, I'll have like that. But if it's just me creating from my own self, I have no expectations about the end. It's all about the process. It's about like a dream may nudge me into creating something, but what it translates into the physical, that I don't want to know the end.
Okay.
I don't think about it like that, because once I know the end, it puts too much of me in it, and I'd rather let the energy work with me. So I don't have a clear end.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of those type of people who loves to get lost. I love getting lost because when I'm lost, then I'm able to find a way home. And so I approach art that way. It's like if I'm a little lost, I can find a new pathway to the work, new pathway with the material. Like I know I'm starting off with this, but I may not. I may switch it up. So now I'm having these pieces here. Let's see.
Can this particular technology be used for as a therapeutic model or so, or helping people with difficulties and dreaming and things like that?
Oh, so I do like a public work in community.
Mhm.
It's called Hollering Space. And I do it with my partner and collaborator. But I haven't done this before, not quite like this. When I did the collective dreaming with the exhibition, it was a program set up within my other works, but it's not a continuous practice. This is a way that I get myself through, and whenever I can share it, I do. But it's not a part of my constant practice, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you so very much. And
Mhm.
I like your hair in your picture with the what what is that? What is it? A particular kind of braiding and shelling and stuff like that, or is it just does it have a name, or is it some sort of technique from out of the continent, or is it?
No, that right there is me being in conversation with my inner child. I, so I did my hairstyle like that just to, because every year I go to this thing called Roots Week. And
Oh
Roots Week, I don't know, are you familiar with Alternate Roots?
no, no.
It's a social justice, arts activist organization based in the South.
Mhm.
And they support artists who are, who make work that's on the edge of social justice and social practice. Anyway, every year I go and we go in the mountains and we play music, we have hard conversations. It's a lot. And so my hair usually becomes quite wild. And so
Yeah,
I was looking for a style to calm my hair, to keep my hair. But what I did not realize was putting those beads in my hair would like bring me back into my body. It would give me calmness. It would allow me to be present in ways that I wasn't anticipating. And so from there, I really played into that, and I created this piece with this artist named Crystal Z. Campbell. She recorded me shaking my head,
Yeah.
and it became a trauma release exercise. So shaking my head with the beats reminded me of the sound of childhood, but it also, I don't know, have y'all heard of trauma release exercises?
No.
So trauma release exercises, if you look them up online, they're quite beautiful. What you do, it's a technique that therapists use instead of like accessing memories of trauma.
Mhm.
They allow you to embody it, so you don't have to re-traumatize yourself by remembering the hard thing that happened. And so the process is you fatigue your body by doing exercises. And then once your body is so fatigued, you lie down and your body will tremble and
Mhm.
it will move, it will identify where trauma is resting in your body. Because a lot of people think trauma stays in the mind, it's a mind thing, but actually trauma rests in your body. And so there has to be a way to move it. And so these
Mhm.
release exercises are a way of doing that. And so what I wanted to do was root it or center it in a Black practice. And
Mm.
so there's, to me, beads in your hair, shells in your hair is something that goes so far back in my own personal experience, but also in my community and in my lineage. And so I use beads and shaking as a trauma release exercise.
And you know, those beats, they seem to be like geometric fractals, like infinite complexity with like just infinite order, and just shaking them out and gives me such a great image, but they just look so very ordered. And then just, of course, releasing that seems so pretty beautiful.
Come on, that's so real. So
Because they
real.
did used to do that. Well, there were villages and on the coast, I can't remember which tribe it was, but if they pulled back, they could see as these villages were designed on a geometric fractal. And that also happens to be the same way, postulate that the design in the cornrows happens to sometimes unfold too, which is
Yes.
pretty amazing.
That is, you're absolutely right. I can't remember which, I remember looking it up, the fractal of the architecture.
Yeah,
I can't think of the tribe or the nation though.
me
Um,
either.
I think what
Important.
I like my pieces here. So I like this purple. And it's just
Oh
like
yeah.
a pattern of purple. I like my stars. I think what I'm going to move into is I want to draw a face or a body that I'm going to add to my pieces. You don't have to do that. If that's not what this dream is leading you to do, that's okay. It could be simple or it could be as intricate as you want it to be. But I think that's what I'm feeling moved to do. How about you all? What are y'all feeling moved to do?
I'm just caught up in soothing waves. I just imagined like this very laid, like flat, almost like jelly,
Mm,
but different colors of purple and different, eggplant and grays and darker purples and aubergines and bright just purples, just perfectly lined up in a little wave going along.
indeed.
I can show you all what I have so far. So, as I was preparing for this workshop this morning, I
Uh-huh.
remembered I purchased a watercolor like paint palette years ago that I never used, and I was like rummaging through my things looking for it. But
Mhm.
there was a purple color, and so when I was thinking about support in the water, I was trying to think of an image that to me represents support, and I ended up just drawing a repetition of, I'll show you, just like purple lines.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
then as I was like thinking about or watching you
Mm-hmm.
um, cut out those stars for water, I was looking through an old calendar I have.
Yes.
Um, and there was a woman in one of the images who was wearing a
Mm.
blue sparkly hijab. Um,
Yes.
so I ended up cutting that out.
Oh, I love that. Grace. Oh, look, I'm all over the thing.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not sure where I want to go from here, but I'm thinking I could maybe put like a figure in this space here,
Yes.
with like the purple lines like supporting that person,
Mm.
body of water. But I also in that same image with I think she was a Syrian woman. She and her husband were at a protest in Seattle, but her husband's hand was um like on her shoulder.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
I cut out the hand as well. I'm not sure if I'll end up using it, but
You'll see. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a prosthetic hand first. It
really,
looked, I was like, oh my God, it's three dimensional. And yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, it looked like a prosthetic. I was like, oh, wow, you got a white prosthetic hand there.
no, I don't have a prosthetic hand. Um,
Hmm.
but I did only cut out his hand and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Hmm.
Hmm. How are you feeling, Lindsay?
You're muted.
Sorry. I'm feeling good so far. I feel like this is a calming experience, but this is what I have so far. I was
Oh.
thinking about like the waves and the movement of those waves. And then I'm starting to cut out some like I can't really see some little purple triangles to fit in some of those blank spaces. And then that's about as far as I've gotten so far.
That's gorgeous. I
Thank
love the curls. And it makes me, I don't know. It feels like you've gone deep in. Gone deep with the word, like the swirl. How beautiful. Mm-hmm. Hey Dan, what do you have? Do you want to share? You don't have
It's not not as colorful as I wanted it to be. It to be singular colorful, but it's I have some. Well, I don't know if you see. Am I upside down? I think I'm upside down. Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's
Almost
beautiful.
like two different in the prism. I've separated, but then I'm going to cover it with super colors to bring
Mm-hmm.
it in more.
It's very vibrant. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It feels layered, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I often feel that way myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Angela, do you have any advice on how to draw a figure as someone for people who don't draw regularly or don't have much experience drawing figures?
Okay, so let's do it. I think it's easier to show you than to. Um, so this is a little fact about me. My mama, when we were growing up, she had 4 children, and she decided to go back to school after my grandmother passed. And so she had 4 children, all under the age of 10, and she was going back to school for fashion design. And everything she learned, she would bring it back to us. And so I learned how to draw people at a very young age, anatomically correct. So I'm gonna see if I can, because she's such a good teacher. And I don't know, let's see. So how I would describe it, I think how I usually do it and start with my head. Can y'all see this green?
It's out of frame. If you pull the paper down a little bit, yeah, I can see that circle now. And
Okay.
the green is a little light.
I'm gonna go red.
Okay.
The reason why I wanted to go like an off color is because we can build on top of it, right? But we can still do it with red, sure. It'll just be a pop in red. So, okay, so I start with my head, right? We'll do it this way. And then I measure how far down I want my person's waist to be by the size of its head. So 1, 2, 3, boom, that's gonna be my waist. If I wanted this person to be standing up, I would give it like 7.5 heads. So it's like 1, 2, 3, waist, 4, 5, 6. See if we're still in there. Yep. Or 7. This would be too big, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to stop at the hips, or maybe I'll even have this person sitting. So you have a head, a little bit of a neck, boom. Then you just, boom, give it a shoulder, just like that. It's just a line. You already have your line for your waist. You can bring it down like this, right? Just attach it. Now you got a torso. If you want to add like an arm there, go another line down here like that. And then you put an arm here, right? You gotta know your arm can't be this big, so you'll pick it that big on this side of it. Just like that. Then you wanna have your elbow and your waist, they usually fall at the exact same space. So you have your head, 1, 2, 3. Your shoulders go across your waist. Arm down, arm, and then that's where your elbow is. So you make another arm right here, boom. You make another arm here, just like that. Now you have somebody who's holding their stomach. What's wrong? What's happening here? But it could be that they're like self-soothing. Do you want your person to have like, you can make your person have a collar. Actually, no, that's our body, right? Once you have your body, then you can put your clothes on it. How are you doing? Are you doing a person, a figure?
Yes, I'll show you in 1 second. So I think my head is bigger than yours, and so I'm moving my waist up a little bit.
Come on. Yes, you did it. Yay. Okay. So that was good. Now, how do you want your person to look? Your person can have, let's see, a shirt, a little collar. This is so simple, but it's okay. We'll make it work, right? We can put a little collar on there and make this into a shirt. Like that. Oh, I forgot. It's back to the purple so you can see. We're gonna put a hand right here and just make it simple block. The trick with making a person is to not think of it being a person. Think of it as a series of shapes. So you just wanna block your hand, you wanna block your arm, you wanna block your chest and your head and your neck. It's just simple blocking. Because when you think of it like that, we can all make a rectangle. We can make a circle, an oval.
This is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna give my person a little indentation. I want them to have breasts. Go right here, like that. And then as far as the face, if you're wanting to like tap into that, it's the same thing. The eyes are a little above like halfway. So that's how, well, everybody's face is different, to be honest with you. Whenever I'm doing a portrait of someone, I measure the length between underneath their eyes to the top of their forehead, or underneath their eyes to their chin. Everybody's is shaped just slightly different. And so, but I'm making my person up, so I'm gonna make it halfway, boom, like that. And then I'm gonna give them a little line for the nose. And I'm gonna give them a little line go across for the bottom of the nose. That'll be the mouth. And the eyebrows here, like that. And that'll be my hairline, right? Ooh, it looks like an alien. That's okay. Because then you get to keep working on it. That's what I call the teenage phase. You can make it however, it's a little bit awkward, but you're learning yourself.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Learning yourself. Right? Put like shadow there. And we're making the little moves. A little red under there, kind of give a little eyes, a little shadow.
I really enjoy, well, one, I appreciate you taking the time to um, show me how to create and draw a figure, but also I really enjoy watching you do this because it kind of reminds me of some of the like shapes that I've seen in your artwork, and watching draw this specific figure makes me think of that really big piece you have where the two kids are on the back of
course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the eyes.
Yeah.
Like the strokes just reminds me of some of the ways that I've seen you draw and paint your figures in the past.
Come on. Yeah, absolutely. I love doing that painting. It's so big. Did you get to see it, like the fullness of it? I think you came to my studio.
I think I saw the fullness of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that you made changes since then. Can you tell Lindsay and Dan about that painting?
Yeah. So that painting, since it's just us, well, no, I'm not the host of this. Otherwise, I would show you the image of it. But I painted this painting. Well, let me first say that I think in series. I don't think in singular paintings in one subject. I like for it to have like a full world. And so last year I was painting the world of the canebrake. And canebrakes are significant to me because that's where my family is from. In East Arkansas was one of the largest mass lynchings to take place in the United States. I should have said trigger warning, but yeah. Like prepare yourself. But yeah, I know, on that early, beautiful Saturday. But it was one of the largest mass lynchings. And I lived there when I was a teenager. And it was really interesting how people interacted with one another. And so I learned of that particular event. And it's called the Elaine Massacre. And one of the ways that people survived, a little back history is there were a group of farmers who wanted their, I don't know, the correct amount for their cotton. And they were advocating for themselves, and it was said that they were trying to create an insurrection. So one night the sheriff came and shot into their church, and they shot back, and the sheriff died. And the next day, people who had no idea what was going on were they were chased down in the fields, and they were shot. And how people survived it was they hid in the canebrakes. And canebrakes are a big, large thicket of cane, bamboo, river cane. And I always took that as a symbol of safety, a symbol of creativity, a symbol of power. And then I learned about the cane. Cane is a phoenix plant. It loves to be burned, but it also loves being near water. Cane is an understory. So it makes me think of the understory of our history and our communities. And so I painted my children leaving the canebrake on a beautiful horse. I matched the image of the cane with them on this horse because my babies, they were 3 and 5 at the time, and they were so afraid of a little they were so afraid of a cat that they were screaming and hollering and crying because they saw a cat. And then like the next month they got on a huge horse and wanted to ride it by themselves. So I just think about the human spirit and bravery and like the power of like curiosity and adaptability and flexibility. And so I wanted to create that image of them exiting and being a part of the canebrake. So it's a huge painting on canvas. And underneath the cane, you can see snippets of newspaper clippings from that time of 1919 massacre. But the children are walking over it and through it. So that's the work.
Were they also veterans? Were there a lot of veterans there too? There were had some difficulties. I don't know if that's part of the story or not, but I think I have a feeling that I read it somewhere that there were a lot of people that came back from World War I and were able to at least defend themselves and felt justly so.
Absolutely.
I've read a little bit of that story too, and I think it was around maybe 234 men and people.
Mm-hmm.
It's really quite traumatic.
It was. I would definitely say going to war. I don't know how many veterans there were. I won't be able to speak to that, but it makes like sense to me that that would be a part of the narrative that inspired people to defend themselves in that way and to have like greater rights. Because it's 1919, that would be after the First World War.
Right after the the flu, excuse me, right after the flu and so many other different things.
The pandemic of that time, my goodness.
I think it was like what 1% of the world's 10% or something. 3 million people. It was a very large swath of the population, and they had the same mask dilemma that people are having now, or had the same mask conversation.
Wow. Goodness. Yeah, I wonder how people like move through what dreams held them at that time. What worlds did they have to create in such odds? When you're working with a pandemic, you're working with racial violence and unrest, and like how did people come together? What were the spaces that people came together then? And how can we use those spaces now to inform this time to join together and create the world that feels good to all of us? I think about those things.
Do you think dreaming can be like a survival tactic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm a firm believer, as I was saying, Dan, you weren't here for that, but the person who taught me about collective dreaming, she said that the space in your brain that's activated when you're telling this story is the same space that's activated when you're dreaming. And I believe telling stories is such a pipeline to survival. That's how you survive, and that's how you connect. When you're able to tell a story, hear a story, embody a story. And dreaming is another way of storytelling. I think when we can put our dreams together, when we can relate, when we can feel one another, we can identify ways of being that we never thought existed. We just have to put them together.
Yeah, the original people that lived in Australia called this time in itself the dreaming, this whole thing. And I kind of believe that sometimes we are living and participating in another dream or so, a dream that's kind of more steeped in a different sort of I don't know, dominance and control and fear. It's kind of like a reality laid over top of our own reality, superimposed. Yeah. Another person's dream we might be living, which is kind of terrifying at least. But yeah, the dreaming is it's a pretty interesting thing. I have a little lady or a person, I think it is. But
come on,
the Montreux Jazz Festival. Have you ever visited the Montreux Jazz Festival? They have a little figure, very similar almost, but there's the Matisse painting. I can't remember what it is, but I need to get their head on their little body pretty soon. It's gonna be pretty big.
I love that. That is so beautiful. Oh wow!
I don't have scissors, so I had to use a pocket knife, so that's fun too.
Hey, come on for the pocket knife. It works.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, oh God, it's gonna. Ooh.
One thing that I've appreciated about these workshops is that we are like aiming to make them accessible, and I think that like when you only use what you already have, you are forced to be more creative, and that creativity can lead to some like really beautiful works of art.
Yes.
And I think that's part of our whole, a lot of people's heritage is just being able to reuse and repurpose everything around, or not everything, but most things, because nothing ever gets thrown in the garbage times in the house that I grew up in. And my mother's favorite phrase was, "Another man's junk is my treasure," or so on and so forth. And using a butter knife as a screwdriver and those different things, reinvent and repurpose things. Um, it's just very useful. I know that we had to, for a while, I'm sure, survive off of things that weren't supposed to be survived on, and that's a whole repurposing of things around us, a new, sort of survivalist thing. But now that we can use that for the betterment to create beautiful things instead of
Absolutely.
just surviving.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I feel like with that sentiment, we have everything we need already. It's with
Mhm.
us, you know? We don't have to go outside of ourselves. It's already here. And tapping into that.
Oh, stop! I love that phrase. It's already here, and you already have it. And yeah, you
Yeah,
are already that. It's just your realization.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have everything we need. We just have to know it. And then we can move past
Mhm.
survival and we can move into thriving.
Yeah.
Because once we acknowledge
Yes.
that and lean into it, the possibilities open up because we're not searching for something outside of ourselves. Yeah. I really believe at this time, because of the pandemic, because of so much uncertainty, like this is the time to tap into our families and tap into our community and learn how to extend our community. That right there, and how to be in community. Those are going to be the ways that we get to this thriving. That's to me, that's what I believe. And I
I
think
think
through,
some people are also sometimes caught too much into running away from themselves.
yes,
And so this is a lot of I have to go inside to see where the real treasure is, not the things that on the outside that make me look good, but what's really going on the inside of that I can value, unless I want to still keep running away and avoiding those things.
right.
I know that the that internal dynamic and that dialectic is really, really important for me to come to a better understanding of, so that I can actualize those things that I already have. Because I can look so far out into other people, but really it's really about my relationship with myself first, and then moving it from there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
I'd like to interject for just a second and let you all know we have about 20 minutes left um, on this Zoom.
Okay.
Cool.
It's been fun. I love that it was just the four of us, too.
I like that sort of intimacy. It's like almost we're doing social distancing from really far away.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
But I finished. I don't know if he's like a old person. I don't know if you can see him or them. Or she
Oh,
sings a lot too. I can tell. This right here. She's got a song.
that's
But I'm
beautiful.
gonna put her. So I'm gonna put her on the cabinet. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. I see her. Let me come closer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's like
Yes.
Grace Jones
Mm-hmm.
almost.
Yes. Very Grace Jones.
Closer.
Yes.
Yeah, I put her head on top of her body, and I'm going to get on my cat with my other. Elliot, I don't know. He's part of the community at She this really wonderful head,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, it looked like a watermelon slice made into a head. I don't know if I can show this to you guys. I don't even remember. There, right there. And he did that painting, and I took it from. Well, I took it from. I asked him to have it because I thought it was so pretty.
Yes. Well, I like the different colors. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was like yeah, like a watermelon rind on top of. I don't know what that, but it looks great to me. I still have it.
Yes, that's beautiful. Okay. I think I'm ready to glue mine down, and then I'm gonna see what else I want to put on it. And if you have, you can use regular Elmer's glue, but I like to use this golden gel medium. Um, Here it is. All right. And with this, you just use a brush to glue it down.
We used to use toothpaste for glue stuff because we never really had glue.
Come on.
So we take tooth, and I think I might have to use some of that today.
Yes. Indeed. They're so ingenious, you
Put
know?
pictures and stuff, walls and things like that, places that pictures aren't supposed to be, where people are being held for periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Well, I got to go. My mom here, and I really am glad I persisted because at first it was shutting me down and I was getting frustrated. But I'm so grateful that I exercised some to get through because I did have a. I was really a joy meeting you and your toughness and your kindness and your ability to help me articulate this painting and giving ideas, images in my head that I didn't know were there. And I'll talk to you soon, Grace, and see you next week. And it was also nice meeting you, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you. So
All
nice
right.
to meet
Thank you guys and have a good afternoon.
You were a joy. Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know how to get on with it. I think I'm still on thingamajiggy. Oh no. I didn't get. It's tricky to do. I'm excited anything untoward. I have a tendency to do that sort of thing. Go. I don't know how. Oh Lord. Oh, there we are.
That's so cute. How's it going, you two?
So far, so good. I'm just trying to put some finishing touches on it.
Come on for the finishing touches.
Yeah, so far, so good as for me as well. I found an image of a man that I like, but I don't know if his facial expression is conveying what I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if this is the right image for this collage.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Has anything come up for y'all as you're doing it visually, or any thoughts or any, I don't know, it doesn't have to be revelations, but anything I want to share as you're creating your visual dream?
Um, I wouldn't say there's like one specific thing that has come to mind, but the process of like thinking through or visualizing this dream has been really cathartic for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice for me as someone who identifies as like an arts administrator and not an artist to have this experience of creating um, because it reminds me that I can attempt to create again. And it doesn't have to be something that is intimidating to me as someone who is not an artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've just really enjoyed just the calming process of just kind of getting lost in, doing this. I feel like my mind is always on all the time, having to go through a to-do list. So
Mhm.
taking the time to just kind of slow down and work through this has just been really nice.
Yes, indeed. I think what's coming up for me is like, I mean, the thing that I'm really trying to lean into is like building with people and building more community and opportunities for connection. And so to be painting and cutting out things, it's like the product it doesn't have to be anything, but being here with y'all has like fed my spirit. So I really appreciate it. Appreciate connecting.
I appreciate you making that possible for us.
Yes, I do as well. It's been really nice.
Mm. How are y'all spending the rest of your day?
Um, so I am going to have a very uneventful afternoon. I think I'll probably just continue reading. But this evening, I am helping my friend's boyfriend get her to a location because he's going to propose to her tonight.
Wow,
That's
Excited
exciting.
to witness a proposal in person.
yes. Oh, that's sweet.
Yes, and it's also just very nice for me to like experience that, like even in the midst of a pandemic when we're at home the majority of the time, that like people are like finding and choosing love.
Mhm. Yes, that's so wonderful. Mm-hmm. I didn't even choose you.
Do you take images of your work before you glue things down, or do you always just like for the most part know where you want things to go or remember?
Mm, no, it depends. It depends on how far in the work I am and
Okay.
how connected I am. So if there's something that, yeah, right now it just feels like a play, and I'm just testing everything out. But if this work was more intricate and more involved, and I've been with it longer, I would take a picture first, place it, then yeah, it would be a different process.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes you get your work to a place of maturity, you don't want to add just too much to it and it messes it up, but sometimes it feels like it needs something. And so that's a process of like photographing it, placing something on it. I also use this tool. What was it called? I can't think of it, but it's an online tool. I'll manipulate an image there,
Hmm.
and if I like it, I'll change a whole color or a whole background
Okay.
online. What? That worked. Come on. So I'm using Jasmine's, the thing that I made with Jasmine was that last week? No, that wasn't last week, the last one.
Hmm.
And, let's see how it works on here. Just layering it.
Lindsay, last month, another Atlanta-based artist hosted a carving workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, but I saw it, 2 days ago, and I was like, man, I really hate I missed that one.
Yeah, it was so good. Do you know who's going to be next, Grace?
So we actually don't have any more scheduled right now. I think we're probably just going to spend a little bit more time thinking about what we want programming to look like in the fall.
Got it. There we go. Mhm.
Okay. I'm so nervous about gluing this down in the wrong way.
You could take a picture of it. I don't know. And see if you like it. That's such a beautiful way. Like take a picture of it with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it, you'll have a distance and you're like, oh, I don't think I like that. Or yes, this is absolutely it. And
Yes.
you have to worry about you glued it and you're like, oh man, I messed up.
I took a picture and I think I like it.
Nice.
I'm just going to tackle my fear of not gluing it exactly as I had it laid out, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. Come on, you got this, Grace.
I appreciate your encouragement.
Mhm.
Angela, have you taught your babies how to draw in the same way
Yeah.
you?
I teach them and they teach me.
That's wonderful.
Mhm. Especially my oldest. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. She loves to draw online and she loves coding. And so she loves to teach me. She tells me she's taking me to coding camp and creating characters on there and little drawings. So,
Interesting.
mhm.
How old is she now?
She's 8.
Wow.
I know, right? What's going on?
Time flies.
Yes. Yes. Mm. Mm. I really appreciated having this workshop with you all, with you both, because tomorrow I'll have another workshop. It's called Pocketbook of Dark Dreams, and I will be hosting 30 people. So this small one is a good little, like, getting my toes wet. Feels good.
Are you feeling nervous about hosting tomorrow?
Um, no, that's well, I was, but today y'all have given me peace and calmness because it helps me remember people are just people. I feel like I'm so much better in person. Like sharing heart space with people and like being able to like walk around and like I don't know, it's just such a difference online. But being here with you three, because now Dan, but has shown me that people are still people. We can still find our spaces to connect, and it's not as it's not a big deal, not that big of a deal. Just be honest and earnest.
Yes, and I also think you do an excellent job at like sharing yourself and your heart, even online. Like, I can definitely feel your warmth and
Mm.
your kindness. And I've felt calm the whole time we've been creating in this over the last hour and some change.
Yay. That's good. That's really good. That makes me happy. Mhm.
All right, so I think I'm almost at a stopping point.
Ooh.
Let's see. I don't know if I can really.
Let's see. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that. It's like a goddess, like a beautiful sea creature. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am going to share mine in just a moment. A little bit more blue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay, so I will probably go back and add some more color later, but
Oh, that's
Oh,
gorgeous.
great.
I
Come
think there's a
on.
clear, but this is what I have created.
I love that.
Great.
I love this person. Come
Mhm.
on, Grace.
Thank you.
That's stunning. I love it. Yay. Come on. Y'all did such a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So we have 2 minutes left. I would love for um, either of you to share any last thoughts that you have, or Angela, if you have a way that you typically close people out.
Oh, that's such a great question. Well, just with immense gratitude. And I'm so thankful to spend time with both of you today. And I think if we will, since we're closing our dream, if we will just give one word and then maybe take a collective breath and we can close out. So, my word is gratitude, deep gratitude. I'm just so thankful.
You took my word, thankful. Thankful for your time and your efforts, and I've really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I think I am also thankful, but the word I will offer up is peace. That's how I feel, very, very peaceful right now. And so thank you, Angela, for spending an hour and a half of your time with us on this Saturday. And thank you, Lindsay, for spending an hour and a half of your time with us as well. And thank you to both of you for being open to being vulnerable and honest and sharing your experiences and thoughts and building community.
Yes, I love it. All right, I want to take a deep breath together.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I like to make sure like my feet are solid, grounded, but relaxed. And take a deep breath in, bring in peace, gratitude, and thankfulness. Exhale, community and connection.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.